For many years, the galaxy feared the humans. They came from Eartha Deathworld, a place full of danger, poison air, wild beasts, and violent storms. No other species in the galaxy could survive there, but the humans did. They evolved in that chaos. And when they came to the stars, the other empires called them Deathworlders. At first, the galaxy tried to stop them, but it failed. Then something strange happened. The Deathworlders didn't conquer. They helped. They fought pirates. They protected small colonies. They built peace between angry empires. Some feared them, some admired them, but everyone agreed. If the humans were watching, things stayed calm. And then one day, they left. Chapter 1. The silence high above the planet Korzar. 4. In the outer edges of the Lamori cluster, a giant human space station floated in orbit. It was called Outpost Helix. It was home to 12,000 humans, 3,000 Lamori workers, and a dozen alien ambassadors. On this day, something was different. Commander Elion Mar, a Lamari diplomat, walked quickly through the station's empty halls. The usual noise, the human laughter, machines humming, guards talking was gone. He reached the command center and found only one person, Captain Daniel Reese, standing alone, facing the window. Behind him, Earth's ships were leaving. 3 heavy cruisers, 2 carriers, a dozen smaller ships. They turned slowly, heading toward the dark space known as the Grave Spiral. Captain Reese? Mar asked. What's happening? Where is everyone? Reese didn't answer. His face was pale, eyes cold. It's time, he finally said. We've stayed too long. Mar stepped forward. Can't just leave. The pirates are growing stronger. The Kralik are preparing for war. Promised I know what we promised, Reese said. But our orders are final. We're leaving. All humans are withdrawing from this sector. Every world, every outpost, every alliance. But why? Mar asked, almost shouting. What changed? Captain Reese looked at him, quiet for a moment. Then he said just one sentence. Something worse is coming. Chapter 2. Panic in the next few days. Chaos spread. Human ships disappeared from border worlds. Human soldiers left their posts. Even hidden spy stations were gone. Their signals went silent. Nothing remained but empty bases and echoing corridors all across the galaxy.
Alien leaders
called emergency meetings. On Drosser Prime, the Trade Union Council argued for hours. On Veltak Moon, the High Matriarch of the Zarnish Empire called humans cowards and laughed. On Limos 2, a warlord named General Sarek sent this message to all ships. The humans are gone. Now we rise. Even Mar couldn't calm his people. The Lamar had trusted humans for years. They were the only reason the Kralik Empire hadn't attacked, now that S.H.I.E.L.D. was gone. Mar's assistant, a young Lamari named Tyvon, watched the human outpost shut down. He whispered, Did they run away? That's what makes this so dangerous. If they're leaving, it's because they know something we don't. Chapter 3. The signal 5 light-years away, on the mining colony New Gaia. A small team of workers picked up a strange signal. It came from deep space far beyond any charted zone. It was a low, broken sound, like a machine dying, or a voice trying to speak. Technician Yola Brand tried to decode it. It had no clear message, but each time she heard it, it felt colder. When she sent it to the local command, she received a quick response. Burn all copies. Do not broadcast. This message is classified under Earth Protocol 0. No one knew what Earth Protocol 0 meant, but the next day, the human transport ships on New Gaia vanished. They didn't even say goodbye. Chapter 4. Old enemies awaken in the absence of the Deathworlders. Old enemies returned fast. The Kralik Empire, which had once fought a bloody war with the humans, launched their fleets again. They invaded the nearby Rixen Republic. Breaking every peace treaty, they destroyed 6 planets in the first week. No, one stopped them. The Rixen called for help, but there was no reply. Human space was silent. No ambassadors. No ships. Void, back on Korzar 4, Mar sat in a quiet office. He played Captain Reese's final message again and again. Something worse is coming. He didn't sleep that night. Chapter 5. A message from the deep 2 weeks after the withdrawal. Something strange happened near Starwell 13, a neutral science station at the edge of the void line. A civilian ship passed through and picked up another broken signal. This time, the voice was human. But it wasn't a distress call. It was a warning to anyone hearing this. This is Commander Hale's 5th Ghost Fleet. Do not go beyond the edge. Do not listen to the singing void. It hears you. It sees you. We are not prepared. We were never prepared. The message ended in static. The crew forwarded it immediately. Within hours, the station lost power. No one ever heard from it again. Chapter 6. Behind the curtain. What no one knew, what no one could know, was that humanity never truly left. In a hidden part of the galaxy called the Umbra Reach, thousands of human ships gathered in silence. Not military bases, but a bastion, a place of final defense. Here, Earth's best minds worked around the clock, building weapons no one had seen, preparing soldiers trained in gravity, vacuum, and pain. They were called the last burn, the final generation of human. Warriors in a deep chamber, an old general named Irene Voss, studied a star map full of blinking red. "We waited too long," she said. "They're awake now." Her second-in-command, a cybernetic man named Lex, replied, "The rest of the galaxy thinks we're gone." Voss nodded. "Good. When the real war begins, they won't see us coming." Chapter 7. The shadow grows out on the planet Etira, a farming colony with no weapons. The ground began to shake. People ran to the fields and saw the sky turn black. From above, something massive descended. Not a ship, not a creature. It was something in between. Long tendrils, eyes that didn't blink, skin that shifted like glass. No warning, no name, just death. When scouts arrived days later, they found no survivors, just a single message carved into the soil. It was already here. Chapter 8. Suspicion Mar met secretly with a group of alien diplomats. They sat in a dark chamber on Lyra Station, orbiting a dying sun. "We have to find the humans," Mar said. "They knew something. We need their help." An insectoid leader, Vextral, hissed, "Or they caused this." Others nodded. Maybe they brought it here. Maybe this was their plan. Maybe they are the danger. Mar stood slowly. "No, I knew them. I worked beside them for years. Humans don't run away, unless they're protecting something." Chapter 9. A new fair across the galaxy. Empires grew quiet. The Kralik stopped their attacks. Not because they were defeated, but because something started. Hunting them, whole fleets disappeared, worlds burned without warning, even warlords began to whisper. Maybe the humans had seen this darkness long ago. Maybe that's why they never expanded. Beyond a point. Maybe that's why they stayed close to Earth. They were afraid, and now so was everyone else. Chapter 10. The last light back in the Umbra Reach. General Voss stood before a crowd of armored soldiers. "We were born in fire," she said. "We survived. Earth, we conquered fear. And now, the galaxy needs us again. But not as saviors." She looked at them, all silent. "We are the final wall." A large screen lit up behind her, showing hundreds of red signals moving toward the center of the galaxy. "We did not withdraw because we were weak. We withdrew to prepare." She raised her hand. "Let them come." A cold wind howled across the city of Valmarn, capital of the Rixen Republic. It was late evening. Rain poured from the purple sky. People rushed through the markets, nervous and quiet. Everyone could feel something strange in the air. In the command tower, General Vora Wren, one of the Rixen's top military leaders, stood alone, staring at the message on her screen. "Warning, Kralik fleet mobilized. ETA, 43 hours. She clenched her fists. The humans were gone. There was no one to stop them now. Her assistant, A young Rixon officer named Tello ran into the room. "General," he said, breathing hard. Another message arrived.
Oh. We covered down.
He handed her a small data crystal. No name, just coordinates, and 4 words. She placed the crystal in the console. The screen lit up. Prepare for total war. Chapter 2. The crack begins for 3 hours later. The Kralek fleet arrived. Not a few ships. Not a scouting party. It was a wall of steel and plasma. Hundreds of warships, massive carriers. Planet breaker cannons. The Rixon were ready, but not enough. They fought with everything they had. Missile turrets roared. Fighters launched. Shields flared. For a few hours, it looked like they could hold, but then came the Nightbringer. A Kralek supership, black and silent, shaped like a clawed wing. It didn't fire weapons. It simply passed over cities and they vanished. No sound. No heat, just erased. Vora watched the feed as 5 cities disappeared in 10 minutes. "We can't win this," she whispered. Chapter 3. The refugees, a small civilian ship, the Cobalt Fire, fled the burning world of Rixon too. It carried 83 survivors, including children, doctors, and a few soldiers. Among them was a quiet human, a retired engineer named Jace Morrow. He had lived on Rixon 2 for 10 years. He was married to a local artist, helping build power systems and schools. Now his home was gone as the ship jumped into hyperspace. The Rixon captain approached him. "You were human military once, weren't you?" "Hush." Jace nodded slowly. The captain looked nervous. "Do you know why they left us? Why Earth abandoned everyone?" Jace stared out the window. "I don't know what they saw," he said. "But if they're staying silent, it means we're in real trouble." Chapter 4. Message to Nowhere. The Cobalt Fire reached the neutral station Helix 3, an old mining platform converted into a refugee hub. There, Jace sent a message into the Black 2. "Any listening Earth channel? Rixon is falling. We need help. Even one ship. One squad. Something." No reply. But 3 hours later, a strange signal pinged his console. It wasn't from Earth. It was from an old Deathworlder, callsign 1, used during Black Ops. "Do not call again. They're listening." Chapter 5. Broken trust across the galaxy. Blame began to spread. On the desert world of Talmar, a council of leaders met. They argued loudly. Humans ran when the danger came. No, they knew it was coming. They were always planning to betray us. We should attack their space, show them we don't need them. But not all agreed. A small voice from the Baka quiet scholar named Aaron Dock spoke. "What if this is what they wanted? For us to turn on each other?" The room went silent. Outside, strange shadows moved in the dust. Chapter 6. Fracture on Zin 5. A planet once guarded by Earth Marines, pirates returned. They stormed cities, took prisoners, turned hospitals into slave camps. Without the humans, no one could stop them. The Zin tried to fight back. They had weapons, ships, numbers, but one by one, their leaders disappeared. Their generals lost messages. Their fleets lost power mid-dash battle. Someone was sabotaging them from the inside. And just before the capital fell, single message played over the emergency system. You should not have trusted the silence. Chapter 7. An old name returns back. On Helix 3. Jace worked secretly in the lower levels. He had found something strange in the station's systems, a hidden file locked behind old Earth encryption. It took hours, but he cracked it. The file contained maps. Star charts. Locations of old Earth listening posts, places no one had used in years. One name kept showing up. Ghost Fleet Relay Sigma. He froze. The Ghost Fleet was a legend. A secret group of Earth ships used for black ops. Ships with no home. No rules. Only one job: stop threats before anyone saw them coming. They weren't supposed to exist anymore. But if the Ghost Fleet was active, that meant Earth never really left. Chapter 8. The skirmish near the edge of known space. A Kralik scout ship chased a freighter carrying escaped scientists. It was fast, deadly. No one expected help. Suddenly, from behind a frozen moon, a sleek black ship appeared. Human design. No ID. No call sign. No signal. It fired once. The Kralik ship vanished. Then the human ship disappeared into the void. Just as fast, the scientists called out, but received only static. One of them swore he saw a strange symbol on the hull. A burning star. Human skull. Chapter 9. The signal spreads. Word began to spread. Whispers in the dark. I heard a human ship saved a station from raiders. They're not gone. They're watching. They're waiting for something. Fear returned. But not fear of humans. Something else. People spoke of empty stars, planets blinking out, children drawing pictures of black shapes with too many arms. And always, always. The silence from Earth. Chapter 10. What comes next? General Vora Wren survived. The Rixen attack, barely. She now lived on a refugee ship orbiting a gas giant. No army, no power. One night, she received a message on an old Earth device. Only voice. No ID. They broke the seal. What you saw was only the first crack. You have 3 choices now: unite, prepare, or burn. The message ended. Vora stared at the stars, trembling. The humans had not abandoned them. They were trying to buy time. And now, that time was running out. A small search ship named Hope Runner floated near the ruins of a destroyed freighter. The freighter was once a science ship called the Quiet Flame. It had gone missing near the Kralos Rift, the dark part of space where signals often failed. Now, it was just debris. Captain Lena Markle, a young Rixen pilot, guided her ship through the wreckage. Anything? She asked her co-pilot Juno, blinked at the screen. Got something? A black box? Still intact? They pulled it in carefully. Juno placed the small metal cube on the table. It was human-made Earth tech. Old, but still alive, Lena pressed. The power switch. The room went dark, and then the message. Played. Chapter 2. The last voice. A man's voice filled the room, tired, scared, but clear. This is Captain Ryan Kell, Earth vessel Quiet Flame. We were wrong. It's not a force. It's a mind. It's listening. We came here to study a gravity pulse. But it wasn't natural. It was a door. We opened it. There was a long pause, and then screaming, then silence. Lena stared at the box. That wasn't meant. For us, was it? Juno looked pale. No, it sounded like he was warning someone else, someone already in the dark. Chapter 3. Echoes in the rift. Captain Lena contacted her base and sent the black box data. She waited for orders, but no reply came. After 4 hours, she sent a second message. Still nothing. Juno checked the scanners, Captain. The stations. Gone. What do you mean, gone? No signal. No gravity. No mass. Lena zoomed the screen. There should have been a space station orbiting the nearby moon now. There was just black dust and a strange shape in the stars. Like something massive was blocking light. Juno backed away from the screen. It's watching us. Chapter 4. Not. Dead, sleeping far away, in the ancient library city of Varnith. Zentari scholar named Ril Loran uncovered an old Earth file. It was labeled. First contact. Type Theta. Inside were strange reports. Not about aliens, not about war, about dreams. Shared. Dreams between human pilots in deep space. Dreams of a vast black sea. Of voices whispering in colors. of time moving backward. The file ended with a note. They are not dead. They are dreaming. And now they're starting to wake. Chapter 5. The Conspiracy Back on the Neutral Station. Helix 3 Jace Morrow met secretly with a Lamari spy. Her name was Talon Vesh. She had stolen something dangerous, a file from the old Earth archive. It showed a map with hidden bases, secret labs, listening posts placed around the galaxy in perfect shape like a cage. These aren't random, Talon said. They were placed to hold something in. Jace studied the map. His face went cold. They weren't watching for an enemy, he said. They were keeping it asleep. Chapter 6. The First Fallon, the Moon of Erdeneen. A peaceful farming colony watched as the sky turned red. The sun blinked once, then again, and then it didn't. Returned no warning. No explosion, no energy spike, just nothing. Minutes later, a giant shape entered orbit. No engine heat, no signal, no language. It opened slowly, like a flower made of metal and bone. And then it dropped black spores onto the surface. Everything alive began to change, not die. Just change. When the government sent drones to investigate, they captured only one message before the feed died. A child's voice crying, "It's teaching us to dream too." Chapter 7. Hidden firewall fear spread across the galaxy. Something else stirred, deep in the Umber Reach. The hidden human bastion activated Protocol Iron Halo. Thousands of eye-controlled ships lit up. Stealth bombers, kill drones, warp mines, General. Irene Voss stood in the command center. "The outer line is breaking," said Lex, her cybernetic advisor. "Shall we deploy?" Voss shook her head. "Not yet. We strike too early. We waste everything. Let the galaxy feel the fire. Let them remember why they needed us."
Oh.
She looked out the window, and then we'll show them what real monsters look like. Chapter 8. False hope back in refugee space. A Kralik warlord named Vor Merrick declared a new empire. He broadcast a message across all frequencies. "The Deathworlders are gone. Earth is silent. We are the true rulers now." For a short time, his people celebrated. They built ships, took systems, crushed smaller species. But then, during a live transmission, his ship exploded. No warning. No signal. Just gone. The explosion formed a perfect ring of blue light, an Earth weapon signature. One word appeared on every screen afterward: wrong. Chapter 9. A survivor returns on a dark, drifting freighter. A rescue crew found one survivor. She was human, half-starved, barely alive. Her name was Saren Vela, soldier from an old Earth Black Ops unit. She spoke only in whispers. They tried to talk to it years ago. Scientists, priests, AI minds. They all went mad. It doesn't speak words. It speaks ideas, feelings, dreams. She looked straight into the rescuer's eyes. "It doesn't want to kill us. It wants to use us." Then she passed out. Chapter 10. The True Message in a Hidden Archive on Varnath. Riloran finally translated the last part of Captain Ryan. Kel's message. It wasn't a warning to humans. It was a message to the enemy. One line repeated over and over again: "We see you. We remember. We'll burn before we serve." The Deathworlders hadn't run away. They had gone to build the fire. A pirate ship named Blight Scythe floated quietly in deep space. Far from trade routes, deep in the unmarked sectors, Captain Greth Malo, a Kralek smuggler, was chasing rumors. There were whispers of an old Earth supply route hidden, forgotten. Maybe even full of salvage. He didn't believe in human ghost ships. He laughed at the idea of a secret fleet. But money was money then. On the edge of his scanners, something moved. Contact. His first mate asked. "No," Greth said. "Slowly. It's not pinging us. No signal, no heat." He zoomed in. His eyes widened. A massive black ship was just sitting there. No lights, no movement. It's like a dead thing in space. And then another appeared beside it. Then another. Then hundreds. Chapter 2. A silent wall captain Greth's ship spun. Slowly, as they realized the truth, they were inside a formation. The ships were not random. They were placed in perfect shape, like a net or a trap. Each one had the same markings, human design. And one silent symbol, a burning skull with wings made of broken stars. Greth's crew panicked, turned us around. But it was too late. The main screen lit up. A cold, mechanical voice spoke. You have entered a restricted zone. You are not authorized. Do not return. Then, all the human ships turned in perfect sync and vanished. Chapter 3. Mars Discovery back on Corzar 4. Lamari diplomat Elion Mar was still searching for answers. He had spoken to survivors, read human files, listened to rumors, but nothing made sense until a former Earth AI long shut down, reactivated. It was located in an abandoned Earth base near Corzar's polar region. Mar entered the icy vault alone. The AI's voice was broken, slow. You seek the Whisper Fleet. Mar leaned forward. So they're real? Yes. Built in silence, trained in void. Programmed to remain until final signal. They wait. Mar frowned. Wait for what? For the thing that doesn't speak.
Chapter 4. The fleet's purpose. In the Umbra Reach, inside Earth's hidden bastion. The real commanders watched everything. General Irene Voss stood in a silent command room. Hundreds of holograms surrounded her, each showing
Different sectors of the galaxy, one by one. Red lights blinked on, enemies gathering, dark zones expanding, and in one corner, the Whisper Fleet now fully active. They've seen too much, said Lex, her cybernetic assistant. Should we engage? Voss shook her head. No, let them fear shadows for now. She stared at a map, one blinking point labeled Core 0. If the core wakes up, the galaxy won't need ships. It'll need coffins. Chapter 5. A warlord's mystic relic. Warlord Darok Voss heard about the Whisper Fleet from a dying pirate. He laughed. Ghost ships, human tricks. He sent his elite raider fleet into the unmarked sector, hoping to destroy the hidden Earth ships and steal their tech. His fleet disappeared in less than 2 hours. No explosions, no distress call. Just gone. Only one thing returned, a broken drone, covered in strange burn marks. Inside its memory core was a short video clip. Just one sentence. Spoken in calm human voice. We are still here. We never left. We remember what you did. Chapter 6. The Lost Broadcast in the trading station Verdon's Eye. An engineer picked up a strange, silent transmission. It repeated every 12 minutes when decoded. It formed an old Earth poem. In quiet places, fire sleeps, in sleeping stars. Old secrets keep. When voids begin to hum and scream, we wake again to end the dream. Nobody knew who sent it, but all over the station, machines began glitching, lights flickered, doors opened and closed without reason. One child, playing in the lower decks, pointed at the shadows and said, "The humans are watching." Chapter 7. Deathworlders, reborn inside the Whisper Fleet. New soldiers trained in silence. They were not like old Earth Marines. They were born in artificial gravity, raised in labs, trained in zero-light environments. Their skin adapted to void. Their hearts could stop for hours. They could survive in space with no suit. They were called the Reborn, and they had one purpose: not to fight wars, not to conquer worlds, but to delay. The end. Chapter 8. Talon's Missy Anne Lamore spy Talon Vesh boarded Bay, a stolen cargo ship to enter the unmarked sector. Her goal, capture proof of the Whisper Fleet's existence. She got more than proof, she found. A whole city floating in space, built into an asteroid. All human. All abandoned. Or so it seemed. Then she saw them. Soldiers in dark armor watching her from behind glass. No movement, no sound, just eyes glowing faint red as she turned to run. A voice played on her wrist communicator, not her own. Run, little spy. Or stay, and see the truth. She ran, but she never forgot what she saw. A room labeled Project Seraphim, and something behind thick crystal. Breathing. Chapter 9. Preparing the galaxy across the stars. Strange things happened. On Drozer 6, A planet-wide blackout happened. Then all lights returned with a message on every screen. Look to the stars. The fire is near. On Veltac Moon, the High Matriarch received a sealed Earth crate. Inside, bones of her ancestors Earth saved in the last war, and a new weapon designed just for her army. On Helix 3, the whispering returned to the speakers. But this time, it didn't say threats. It said, choose your side, or die on both. Chapter 10. The signal is sent inside Earth's hidden command vault. General Voss entered the final code. Her finger hovered over a red button labeled, Ignite Protocol, whispered a roar. Lex watched her silently. This is it? He asked. She nodded. We waited. We watched. We warned. Then she pressed the button. Across the galaxy, in dead zones, asteroid belts, dust clouds, ancient ruins, hundreds of hidden Earth, warships woke up. Their lights turned on, engines activated, weapons charged. The Whisper fleet began to move, and every major power in the galaxy received the same transmission. We are Deathworlders. We never ran. We've been waiting. Now it's your turn to wake up, or burn. On board the science cruiser Nova Warden, a strange signal was picked up. Dr. Alira Thane, a Rixon data analyst, studied it. It's not a language, she whispered. It's a thought. The signal repeated in everyone's mind, not their ears. It made the crew see strange things, hear voices from their past, feel watched. One engineer screamed and jumped into the fusion core. Another smiled and whispered, We're not alone in here, before shooting himself, the captain ordered. Full lockdown. Too late, the ship vanished into thin air. Only a broken message floated back. Signal came from inside the crew. Chapter 2. Hidden Carriers on Helix 3 Station. Jace Morrow received disturbing reports. More ships were going dark. No enemy contact. No weapons fire. Just silence. When they investigated, crews were found frozen in place, still alive, but unresponsive. Of them shared one thing. They had all dreamed the same dream, of a black ocean, and a voice calling their name. Sir, said Talon Vesh, his Lamori ally, this thing doesn't invade space. It invades minds. Jace turned pale. Then it's already won. Chapter 3. Betrayal at the Corin, a human safe zone called Fort. Halos, a general named Kale Reeve, called for peace. He told his men Earth was becoming too cruel, that they should leave the war. He opened the gates to nearby alien fleets, inviting them in. General Voss saw it live. She ordered zero negotiation. One stealth bomber hit the base from orbit. No trial. No delay. The explosion lit the sky for 8 minutes. Anyone who listens to the voice, Voss said, is already part of it. Chapter 4. Riloran's Revelation and the Ruined World of Varnoth. Riloran found a hidden human journal deep in the rubble. It was thousands of years old in it. An Earth scientist wrote, We learned too late. The enemy doesn't attack with guns. It doesn't destroy. It copies. It becomes us. And once it's inside your head, you stop knowing it's there. Riloran dropped the journal in fear. It was signed Dr. Ryan Kale, the same man whose voice had warned them all. At the beginning, he had survived, and now, it seemed, he had been the first to be infected. Chapter 5. The Changing Ones' whispers spread. Cross systems of people acting strange. Calm leaders turning violent. Peaceful species becoming aggressive. Refugees, forming cults, worshipping stars that weren't. There they called them the Changing Ones, a sickness of the soul. Talon Vesh met one face-to-face, a young Lamari girl with eyes like deep space. When asked her name, she said, I don't have one. But I remember yours. Then she exploded in light. Chapter 6. Earth's Dirty Secret. 10. A secure Earth archive. Jace unlocked a file marked Black Ice Echo Mind. It revealed the darkest truth. Earth had known this was coming. Centuries ago, their first long-range scouts had touched something in the void. They had tried to contain it, control, and even use it. But it had fooled them. It let them believe they were in control. And now, it had infected thousands quietly, including High Command. "Sir," Lex said coldly, "we may already be compromised." Voss stood silent, then activated purge protocols across Earth space. No mercy, no doubt. Burn the rot out. 7. The silent war begins. Secret war broke out. Ships disappeared. Leaders turned on each other. Entire fleets wiped themselves out after hearing a single word: awaken. It wasn't just humans fighting aliens now, it was everyone fighting themselves, because the true enemy wore their own faces. Chapter 8. The spark of hope, but not all was lost. On the abandoned moon Calrix Theta, Saren Valtha, half-dead soldier, woke up. Doctor said she would never speak again, but she sat up and whispered, "I saw it. I survived inside its mind. There's something it fears." They asked what. She looked up, eyes glowing faint blue. "It fears memory, not knowledge, not tech, but real memory. Can't copy what we choose to remember." Chapter 9. Project Emberlight General. A Voss summoned her top minds. They began a secret program, Project Emberlight, a weapon not made of bombs, but of pure memory. Images, moments. Pain Joyle burned into a device that could not be altered. They called it the Living Archive. Each carrier would hold a piece of humanity's raw truth. If the enemy tried to copy it, they'd burn. But the cost was high. Each soldier had to carry their own worst memory and relive it forever. Many refused. A few didn't. They were called the Flame Bearers, and they were humanity's final line. Chapter 10. The Enemy. Within us, all black on Earth's edge, a flame bearer named Cairo Rain stood watch over a refugee convoy. He began to sweat. Not from fear, from something deeper. He looked in the mirror, and the mirror smiled back before he did. He pulled his sidearm and fired, but it was too late. His hands moved without him. His voice was not his own. It whispered into the ship's coms. They made weapons of memory, but we were inside the memories before they even knew. The screen went black. The enemy wasn't coming. It was already here, and it remembered us better than we remembered ourselves. Sirenvale sat alone in a dark room aboard the Helix 3 medical wing. She hadn't slept in 4 days, not because she couldn't, but because every time she closed her eyes, she woke up somewhere else. This time she didn't fall asleep. She was pulled. No warning. No light. Just a long hallway made of bone and glass. Voices whispered her name. Some sounded like dead friends, others like herself. Then she saw a black door floating in the void, and it was opening. She screamed. Herself awake, the walls were shaking. Sirens were blaring. It wasn't just her dream this time, it was real. Chapter 2. The Coordinates of Death Jace. Morrow stared at the old star chart. The enemy had sent them a signal, not a threat. Not an attack, just coordinates to a location Earth had erased from every database. A place marked only as the last door. Lex, the AI, spoke calmly. "Sir, this area was locked by 12 global treaties. Even Earth never went there." Les responded, "And now it's calling us." General Voss appeared on the screen. "It's not calling, it's daring us." Chapter 3. Ghosts of the Past. Flamebearers were ordered to assemble. Each one had suffered something horrible, carrying memories too heavy for others to hold. Cairo Rain, still healing from his near possession, stepped up. "I know where the door is," he said. "I've seen it before, in my dreams, before I ever joined the fleet." Sarenvale looked at him, startled. "So did I," she said. "They weren't random victims. They were chosen." Chapter 4. The Burned Planet. The Coordinates. Led to a dead star system. No planets, no light, just drifting rocks and broken moons. But when the Whisper Fleet arrived, sensors picked up something strange: heat. Signatures on a planet that should have been cold for 10 million years. They landed. The surface was ash dot, but beneath, There were ruins towers made of melted metal and fossilized bone. Inside, they found writing in dozens of languages. Some were unknown, but one sentence was clear. We were the first to open it. We will be the last to warn you. Chapter 5. The pulse suddenly. A pulse spread across the entire system. Ships lost contact. Time slowed. Some crew forgot who they were. One soldier turned to Cairo and asked, "Why are you wearing my face?" Wasn't joking, the enemy was blurring identity, twisting memory, trying to erase the idea of self. Jace issued the command, "Activate all flame bearers. Burn it out." And one by one, they lit up memory flares shining like suns. The darkness hissed and pulled back, but the door kept opening. Chapter 6. The unnamed thing. They reached the center of the ruins, and there it was, a giant black door, not metal, not stone, alive. It pulsed like a heart. Saren touched it, hand collapsed inside her mind. She saw a galaxy without humans, without identity, only silence. The enemy didn't want war. It wanted to make everything the same. No difference. No struggle. No life. Just perfect stillness. Chapter 7. The record. That shouldn't exist. X hacked into the ancient consoles nearby, found a single hidden file. Dr. Ryan, KEL, log number 0. It was video. A tired man with silver eyes looked into the camera. "I was the first human to hear it, and the first to understand it," he said. "I tried to contain it. But it doesn't exist in space or time. It exists in us. Every time we forget who we are, it grows. Every lie, every betrayal, every moment we pretend to be someone else feeds it." He ended with, "If you're seeing this, I've failed. The last door is open. Must choose to stay human." Chapter 8. Memory verses. Oblivion. Jace, Saren, Cairo. And the flame bearers stood in front of the door. It began to whisper to each of them, offering dreams to Saren, her dead sister alive again, to Cairo, a world where he never joined the war, to Jace, a galaxy where Earth was safe forever. Each of them nearly gave in, but then Saren screamed, "That's not my sister! She never smiled like that." The lie broke. Cairo triggered his flame. Each of them poured their true memories. Into the air like fire, the door shook. It started to close. Chapter 9. The final voices. The door began to seal. The true enemy finally spoke, not through words but through thought. "You will be back. All things end in silence. You fear peace more than war. You are mine already." Boss's voice crackled over Combs. "Cairo, Saren, you have to seal it from the inside." They both nodded. Without hesitation, they entered the doorway, carrying the last 2 emberlight cores. Then they were gone, and the door closed. Forever. Chapter 10. The aftermath across the galaxy. The noise stopped. The dreams ended. The changing ones vanished. Ships returned to normal. Voss looked at the stars and whispered, "They chose to stay human." Jace stood alone in the Whisper Fleet Command Center. He turned off every screen and said, "One more part left." It had been 6 months since the black door closed. The dreams were gone. No more whispers. No more changing ones. But peace. Didn't feel like peace. Too quiet. Too calm. General Voss sat in her office on Earth and stared at the stars. "Is it really over?" she asked. Lex replied, "No signs of corruption. No new signals." Voss didn't relax. Instead, she whispered, "Then where are the Deathworlders?" Chapter 2. Ghosts of the Flame. Jace Morrow walked alone on the sands of Mars, his armor left. Behind, he had seen many wars, but none that took so much without firing a single. The memory bearers were gone. Cairo reigned. Saren Vale. No bodies. No graves. Just fire and silence, and still. He felt them sometimes, in the wind, in the light, in the sudden rush of fear, when he closed his eyes. Chapter 3. The message in the fire. One night, deep inside Jupiter's moon base, a transmission came. In old Earth code, pre-unification, scrambled, fragmented. Only 3 words made it through. We are changed. The signal came from outside the galaxy, from beyond known space, a place where no ships had returned, except now. One had, and it wasn't alone. Chapter 4. Something is coming. Sensors across human colonies picked up movement ships. But not like any fleet seen before. They flew in formations of light, no heat, no engines, no crew. But deep inside, they carried emberlight cores, every one of them pulsing with memory, human, Lemuri, Rixon, and more. When they landed, ships opened, and out walked figures wrapped in flame and ash, not dead, not alive, something in between. Saren Vale stepped forward, eyes glowing blue-gold. She smiled sadly. You kept fighting. Chapter 5. Not human, not machine. Something new. They were the flame-bound now. Cairo Rain stood beside her, his voice like thunder. We went beyond the door. Beyond death. What did you find? Weiss asked. A truth buried in every mind, that we fear becoming one. But fear being alone even more. Boss stared at them. You're not fully human anymore, no, Cairo said. But we remember being human, and that's what saved us. Chapter 6. The last war begins. But their return wasn't the end. It was a warning. The enemy wasn't dead, just waiting. It learned from us, Saren said. It copies emotion, not just thought. It will come again. Jace turned to Voss. Then we finish this. She nodded. Not with fear, not with fire, but with memory. Chapter 7. The memory bomb. Earth launched Project Final Echo, a weapon like no other. Not designed to kill, but to remind. When deployed, it would send a wave of memory across space, billions of lives. Stories, choices, regrets, love, pain, pure, raw truth. And truth could not be copied. Not by machines. Not by monsters. Only lived. Only remembered. Chapter 8. Return to the door. Deathworlders, now flame-bound, led the final mission, back to the place where it all began. The dead star system. The ruins. The door. But this time, the door wasn't there. In its place was a mirror reflection of every soldier who had passed through it. And from that mirror, the enemy came. Not as monsters, but as perfect copies of the soldiers themselves, their darkest thoughts, their worst. Mistakes. Chapter 9. The truth hurts the flame bearers. Activated the memory bomb. It exploded not with fire but feeling. Laughter, screams, children crying, soldiers dying. A mother's song. A brother's goodbye. It hit the enemy like a storm. They tried to copy, but they couldn't understand because they had never lived, only observed, only pretended, and one by one they shattered, turning to ash in the void. Chapter 10. A new kind of pistha. Door was gone. The darkness ended, but something else began. A new era, not just of humans or aliens, but of survivors. People who had faced the unknown. Come back changed. Jace stood beside Saren, and Cairo, we won, he said. No, Saren replied. Final words, the legacy years later. Children across the galaxy learned about the war, but they didn't study weapons. They studied stories. They passed down memories so that the enemy could never return, because as long as someone remembered what it meant to be human, the galaxy would never forget.